When you open your closet, it might be full of clothes. Clothes that you may have worn twice. A jacket with the tag still on it. And somehow, you still feel like you have nothing to wear. Do you really have less clothes, or is it something else that's not under your control? What if we tell you this feeling has been designed over years, specifically for you? Because fast fashion does not only sell cheap clothes, it sells a faster relationship with clothing and something that has to do with your psychology. Today we'll find out why your closet is full while you still buy more things you won't wear. Is it just a generation thing, or is this an intricate business plan? Let's figure out. The obvious explanation is that fast fashion works because clothes are cheap. And that is true. But that is not the whole story. Cheap prices are only the entry point. The real power of fast fashion is that it changes the rhythm of shopping. For most of history, clothing was slower. You bought fewer pieces, you repaired them, you repeated outfits. But fast fashion compressed that entire cycle. New designs appear constantly. Prices stay low enough to reduce guilt. And the store, the app, and the algorithm keep reminding you that what you bought last month already feels old. According to the Ellen MacArthur Foundation, clothing production roughly doubled in the 15 years before 2017, while clothing use fell by almost 40%. A shift linked to fast fashion's quicker turnaround, more collections, and lower prices. That is the machine, not just more clothes. Traditional fashion had seasons: spring, summer, autumn, winter. You knew when new collections arrived. Fast fashion simply broke that calendar. Instead of waiting months for new styles and designs, shoppers could now see something online and find a cheaper version instantly. And now, with ultra-fast fashion platforms, the speed is even more extreme. The product page becomes a live feed, giving you new reasons to check again tomorrow. This matters because when fashion moves faster, your clothes become old faster. In your mind. The shirt still works. The jeans still fit. But the trend has moved on. So the problem is no longer that your clothes are worn out. The problem is that they feel out of date. That's not all. Let's take a look at what low prices do to your brain. If a jacket costs a lot, you stop and think, will I wear it? Does it match anything? Is this worth it? But if a top costs less, the decision feels smaller. You do not feel like you are making an investment. Even if the top matches your expectations halfway through, you see it as a win. And that is important. Because fast fashion lowers the emotional cost of being wrong. If you buy something and never wear it, it does not feel like a disaster. It feels like a small mistake. A small mistake you can repeat again next week. That is how cheap clothing changes behavior. It does not have to convince you that every item is valuable. It only has to make each purchase feel too small to question. And these brands don't stop at the costs either. When you walk into a fast fashion store, it does not feel like a warehouse. It feels like a rotating stage. The front of the store shows the newest trend. The mannequins show complete outfits, so you are not just buying a shirt. You are buying a version of yourself. The displays are arranged by mood: workwear, party wear, vacation, minimal, streetwear, festival, date night. The store is not asking, do you need clothes? It is asking, which version of yourself do you want to become today? And because the products are affordable, that transformation feels within reach. For the price of one expensive piece somewhere else, fast fashion lets you buy an entire identity. It is not trying to just push cheap fabric. It is pushing a cheap reinvention of yourself again and again. Then comes the pressure. Limited stock. Trending now. Almost sold out. Only a few left. These messages raise the question, what if you miss this clothing? And that is a very different shopping mode. Fast fashion trains shoppers to decide quickly because waiting becomes risky. If you leave the item behind, it may disappear. If you do not buy now, someone else might. They use FOMO like a tool. This is how the shopping experience becomes more like a chase. The clothes are not only products, they are opportunities with countdown timers. But the biggest change did not happen inside the store. It happens on your phones. Because fast fashion and social media go together better than peanut butter and jam. Social media acts like a rocket fuel for fast fashion to flourish. Social media is all about the new looks, new outfit, a new version of yourself, and fast fashion supplies the inventory for it. If your life is constantly being photographed, filmed, and compared, repeating outfits can start to feel more visible than they used to. Not because repeating clothes is wrong, but because social media has connected your looks to your current status, and same clothes can look like you're not doing well enough to have new, attractive looks. This is why fast fashion does not just compete with other clothing brands. It competes for your identity. It gives people a way to keep updating how they appear to the world. And when your appearance becomes content, no amount of clothes are enough. This is also why the haul became such a perfect format. A haul does not focus on one carefully chosen item. It celebrates volume, bag after bag, package after package. The entertainment is now more than what was bought. It is how much was bought. That changes the cultural signal. It sets an expectation, and buying many things feels more exciting. The haul turns accumulation into a performance. And fast fashion benefits because it makes volume feel normal. Fast fashion turns shoppers into influencers, and influencers into advertisements. And now slowly, your closet starts feeling like a subscription. Because now, we're in a loop. You see a trend, you feel behind. You buy something cheap, you wear it once or twice. The trend changes, you see something new again, and the cycle continues. The Ellen MacArthur Foundation has described the fashion system as highly wasteful, noting that less than 1% of material used to produce clothing is recycled into new clothing. That is the strange contradiction. We own more clothes, but use them less. We buy more variety, but feel less satisfied. We chase more options, but somehow end up with the same sentence: I have nothing to wear. This might make some people angry, but fast fashion's real product is controlled dissatisfaction and not fashion. It won't make you miserable, but pinch you just enough to make you browse. And because the solution is cheap, the system always has an answer. The genius of fast fashion is that it makes buying feel like you're solving a problem that didn't exist, or rather it helped create. So, if you think you pay for an outfit, you actually pay for staying active in the trend cycles, in the algorithm, under the fear of repeating. Fast fashion does not need you to love every item. It only needs you to keep believing that the next one might be the missing piece. And that is why this system is so powerful. It trains you to buy clothes because a newer version of yourself is a mystery, a potential that you might feel is just one purchase away, until the cycle resets. So next time you see a cheap item online, pause for a second. Ask yourself, do I want this? Or am I feeling like my clothes are old because I saw something new? Because now that you've seen how the machine works, fashion might start looking different. And that is the hidden receipt.